Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Koholoyim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Bahashim. Hakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say Tawada to all the Akim and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan the Waf just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit, and wanted to touch on an article in the New York Post. It says your boss could be tracking you through your AirPods. Here's how to avoid supervisor surveillance, right? So I'm at the plantation right now. I had a earlier meeting. They had everybody come in or whatever, to a certain location in another city. And, one of the things that this lady was talking about, she the mic, she was talking about how, overall, how the company vehicles would be surveilling you, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself, like all the shit she's saying, I know she's not saying everything. So now it's like I rarely speak in the in the vehicle. I used to do videos in there, you know what I'm saying, and lessons, because I just kind of drive and I listen to lessons. But what I've been doing is I've been using my own personal earpods to just drive and listen to the lessons. I don't interconnect with you know the the- the system of these newer vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to the source, you push Bluetooth, and automatically your phone links up to it. So my personal phone I had linked to it, and then of course I got the the work phone. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm thinking like, all right, well, they could be listening in on conversations and things of that nature. And then, by the Spirit, I just seen this article in the New York Post, and then I had a dream the other night as well about we know that we have spies, and we know that overall they're going to surveil anyway. They're going to do what they're going to do, right? But basically, I just found this article to be interesting, you know. So I'm gonna read through a little bit of it, so so that you can be circumspect. Matter of fact, let me just grab one quick script so that your brothers and sisters can be circumspect when you're dealing with Esau, because Esau is very crafty, very very crafty. They that's their one of their number one things is to spy in, or they'll set up a spy. They just one of their main weapons is information, because they weaponize information or weaponize things that you have said, so to speak. So we all know that, okay, we do videos, they see us on out at camp anyway. They know that we have these YouTube channels. They already know. They got a whole list of things about us, you know what I'm saying, in their folders and shit like that. But there's been a lot of lessons going out on being circumspect. So let me just grab that one real quick. Just being circumspect, you know what I'm saying? Just blending on in when you at the plantation, and getting the fuck in and getting out. You know what I'm saying? I was watching one of the elders of the brothers out in New York yesterday, and he was going off into, he was saying, hey man, it's best to kind of know a little bit about the NBA. Kind of kick it with him like you just a part of the bullshit that they in. If they say, you know, happy holidays, you just say, hey, same to you, and keep it moving type of deal. You don't get off into the fact that, okay, I don't do that, I don't celebrate, because you want to. There was this saying of being Clark Kent at the job of being Superman when you're off. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to separate, what's your role. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go off into these places and they get to knowing everything about you. Don't let them know nothing about you. You know what I'm saying? Hell, they don't need to know nothing about you. Keep conversations as short as possible. Give them that bullshit smile and keep it moving, man. But anyway, let's get this real quick. Ephesians 5:15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Right? The next verse. Verse 16, it says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So you want to be circumspect. And Esau, they'll tell on themselves too. Because they was talking about everything. This was the list of things that she named off. She's like, yeah, the newer, 2025 models and this, and whatever, because they can do that in any of these vehicles. They can listen in because it has microphones. They have cameras all over these vehicles now. So you don't know what's going on, you know. So right as of right now, I jumped out of the company vehicle to jump in my own vehicle to do this lesson. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of shoved their phone away in my glove compartment. You know what I'm saying? On that airplane mode type of deal, on that off mode. But anyway, because we're living in serious times, man. The shit that they doing, as far as they don't understand that, hey, the Lord is giving us a ups on you. We know what you're doing. The Lord is showing us what you're doing. Because like I said again, I had a dream the other night, or a vision the other night, going off into that very same thing. And then we had this meeting. So that was kind of like a confirmation of what I was thinking. So I said, you know what? Let me stop. Let me take my phone off of this Bluetooth or whatever connection in this vehicle, you know, and let me just stop doing videos in the vehicle. I can just wait until I get back to wherever, you know what I'm saying, to sit in my own vehicle, if that's the case. Because Edomites, they walking all by, this, that, and the third, and they ear hustling anyway. But let's go into some of this article though. It says, are you being tracked while listening to a hot track? These seemingly innocuous listening devices could double as earbuds, not earbuds with the D, but bugs with a G, like somebody's bugging your apartment or bugging your phone. You know what I'm saying? Or, it says a techspert is warning employees to think twice about accepting AirPods at work because the boss could use them to snoop on their movements. AirPods can be tracked indirectly through, say, the work mobile or laptop, not necessarily Apple branded, whose location an employee can access anyway. Mark Porco, Mark Porcar, who works at QR Code Generator, told the Digital Journal while describing this surreptitious surveillance, along with keeping tabs on employees' extracurricular habits. They could also be used to spy on remote workers to see if they went to the bar at lunchtime or perhaps took a Louis Vuitton shopping detour while on assignment. See? Crazy, bro. Employees should be suspicious of AirPods that arrive in a previously opened box or naked without packaging. Per Porcar, employers could have linked said Bluetooth to their personal laptop or other device and use this setup too. In the words of the police, watch every move you make. See? Esau, man. And we know that they can do it through the phone that I'm using right now. I'm just saying, hey, fuck it. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. But we're not gonna give them the extras, so to speak. It said the digital whiz warns that while AirPods do not have built-in GPS or say cellular capabilities, employers can use the Find My Network or an already paired device to estimate their employees' location, much like an AirTag. That's what we was talking about, them AirTags years back. Because people was using those AirTags, at places like Walmart, putting them on women's cars, following their asses home. See, they don't be talking about that too much no more. And a lot of shit was going down with a lot of women being tracked or by complete strangers. All they had to do is put that AirTag on your shit behind your license plate or something, anywhere that they can get it where to stay. And that's not hard, you know. So it says, unfortunately, these capabilities can be used to track both new and old AirPods models, although older models have less precise location technology, the expert warns. Which I don't even have nothing like that. I don't even fuck with them, but I got some basics, you know what I'm saying, that I've had for a while. It says to avoid getting bugged by the boss or other bad actors, Porcar advises removing the AirPods factory settings manually. First, place both earbuds in the charging case and close the lid. Then wait for 30 seconds and reopen the lid. Afterwards, press the small reset button on the back of the case for 15 seconds until the light at the front flashes amber and then white. Viola supervisor surveillance capabilities are no more. Okay. The users can then link these auditory doohickeys with another non-work Apple ID user using it in Mac, iPhone, or iPad per poor car. However, he urges AirPods enthusiasts to perform this function at a familiar location, such as the office, because employers will be able to see where they switch to another Apple ID, aka they can see if you switch outside of a bar. See? Users can also disable Find My AirPods through a paired iPhone or iPad by going to Settings, select the Device tab, clicking on their AirPods, and hitting Remove this device. If the AirPods were previously paired with a Mac, open the Find My app, go to the Device tab, and select the AirPods from the list on the left. Then navigate to the circle I in the right-hand panel and hit Remove this device to disable its tracking. And don't think you can just shut down tracking by pairing the AirPods with another device. Using AirPods with an Android phone or tablet does not prevent tracking if they remain linked to an Apple ID, because they can still use the manufacturer's network to be located. Damn. Of course, disabling one's tracking could arouse suspicion at the office, even if the move is justified. As such, the best way to avoid being surveilled, sans setting off alarm bells, is to keep your work AirPods at your usual place of work, whether that is at the office or at home. Do not take them with you for non-work related activities like a morning jog, a gym session, or a quick drink after work, he said. This prevents many complications like theft and loss of company property, but more importantly, it keeps you safe from uncomfortable encounters with your boss or anyone at work with access to company device management. And all this is really leading up to, we've been saying it all along, man. Everything is becoming a lot more digital. Esau, he wants a lot more surveillance on you. And it's all leading up really to Revelation 13:16. And it reads, and he calls it for all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And a lot of these places, because see, we have to badge in. Our badges, got the barcodes on them. They could easily say, and especially, oh man, COV 19, when the code went down, oh man, they had this motherfucker set up like a fucking a military installment, man. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to, go through. They had like a goddamn infrared system that was out of a movie, man. You had to go through a lot of shit to just get into the building. After badging in, you had to go through checkpoints. They check, you could see your whole body on the damn computer screen. They was doing it all, man. They had a whole setup. It looked like a damn lab you had to walk through. And then once it cleared you, you walked on through. And it was never like, I never seen anybody get turned around. I was thinking, I don't know, it's just maybe they didn't, because I never had the shit. If I did, I didn't know, because I never got sick or anything like that. I ended up getting me a religious exemption. I prayed to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for it. And I was just like, hey, shit, if they telling me I gotta go and get this goddamn jump shot, I'm quitting this bitch. I didn't give a fuck, but I had prayed. The Lord gave me what I needed to put together the religious exemption. I pretty much sent it in, and they approved it. And I was one of the only. Nope, it was another guy too. Matter of fact, I don't know. He appears to be an Edomite, and I think he might be. But shit, he said he was like, nah, man, I put in for a religious exemption, because he was one of the people that was kind of trying to talk to me about the Bible, which I didn't go all off into nothing with him, because you at the plantation, just leave it all alone, man. These Edomites, let them, because they believe in white Jesus anyway. This shit don't have nothing to do with us. You know, just all that idolatry, man. You can believe in your idol all you want to. I'm not talking to you about nothing biblically. But he knew a few things, but he was one of the only ones that put in for a religious exemption. And the rest of these people, hey, it's been people dropping like flies. All I've been seeing is, you know, um, little flyers. They'll have a picture, you know what I'm saying, of whoever it is that passed away, and telling you about their life, and such and such. He worked here for 30 years, whatever amount of years. A lot of these Edomites been dropping. I've been seeing them, bitches in the cafeteria, especially right after everybody took that jump shot. A damn picture is up in the cafeteria every other damn week with somebody dropping. And then as of late, they've been doing a bunch of, you know, damn blood drives. Like, what y'all doing with all this blood? Every month. I think they have like two a month now. I'm like, y'all never used to do that before COVID-19. So who knows, man? They might be shit collecting motherfucking samples to see what's what. I don't know. Anyway, me speaking as a man, but verse 16 again, Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And you can clearly see through COVID-19, that was like, hey, that was, if you ask me, I know they collected a lot of data on that, man, because that was the perfect example of buying and selling overall. You know, you had to have, if you didn't have a mask, you know, they had the, little stipulations with the 6 feet, being 6 feet away from people. They were setting up that system of saying, okay, we can make these people comply to this if they want groceries, if they want essential things, you know. But see, it's going to come down to a point. See, they're doing real ID right now. It's going to come down to a point where you're not going to be able to even leave your damn house or drive. They might, hit you over the head if you're trying to ride a bike, you know. Where's your real ID? Because Esau, he wants that. This is the type of control this man wants, you know. Like, why would an employee? I know here too, they came out with that was like maybe about 5 years or so back. I remember him talking about it like downtown. You like I said, it's like those big corporate buildings. You have to have that access to get into the building, the badge and access. And they had to come. They came up with a law here in Michigan. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Salakia, bear with me here real quick. Let me open a tab. Let's go into this. I can probably do it from here. This is your famous lady with Mother's Day, Anna Jarvis. She was the creator of this bullshit called Mother's Day. But anyway, they came up with a law where they couldn't force this a microchip. This is actually a microchip that people, would have to they would have to have them, or they, it was optional. Optional is what they were saying. I think it was a law that they came. It was damn, when was that? It could have been 2023. It may not have been 5 years ago. It's been some years back though. I think this is it right here, this House bill. Okay, so they have this one for this is about microchipping pets. Many cities and counties have their own ordinances requiring microchipping for dogs and sometimes cats over a certain age. That's not what I wanted though. They got mhm, no, that's not what I want though. Let me see here. Just gonna put it in for people. Yep, this is it right here. Oh, it's called the Microchip Protection Act. Matter of fact, I could probably read it from here for AI overview. Oh, yep, it was bill number 5672, I think it is. It says Michigan's Microchip Protection Act prohibits employers from requiring employees to implant or inject a device into their bodies as a condition of employment, compensation, or benefits. It also prohibits discrimination against employees who refuse such procedures. The laws define a device broadly, including electronic or molecular devices. Key provisions of the Act: employers cannot make implantations, injections, or ingestion of a device a condition of employment, a requirement for specific position, or a requirement for receiving additional compensation or benefits. Then, of course, they got anti-discrimination. Employers cannot discriminate against employees who refuse to undergo the procedure described above, including the terms of compensation, benefits, and other terms of employment. Broad definition of device. The law defines device broadly, encompassing acoustic, optical, mechanical, electronic, medical, or molecular devices. Exceptions, though, it says the Act outlines specific exceptions, such as when a procedure is necessary for a legitimate medical reason or when it is required by law or court order. So, hey, they still got it wide open. They got it open where they can, you know, Esau gonna keep a loophole. In essence, the Michigan law protects individuals from being coerced into having microchips or other devices implanted or injected into their bodies as a condition of their employment or access to benefits. So when you come, you got people like IUIC, you know, that was talking that shit about, being able to buy or sell with a microchip or a RFID chip or whatever. Them dudes is bugged out, man, because the technology is here. You can clearly see, hey, to it may not be saying buy or sell, but okay, it's saying, okay, you getting money to buy or sell. You want to work here, you have to have this, and that's what they're gonna pull off on everybody. This is gonna be a worldwide thing. No one is gonna be able to escape what's coming down the pipe when it comes to that. Because let's get it back. Verse 17 again, Revelations 13 and 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So this man can easily say, hey, I'm telling you, man, when COVID went down, that shit was serious. Now I know the times, that a little time to pass, and people still remember, even though it's not fresh on their mind, but they remember, But a lot of people, when they come down the pipe with this shit, they're not gonna be with it, man. They're not gonna be. People are already in a up riled, like they riled up to just fuck shit up right now. People are aggravated. People are not going for another lockdown like that. So it's nothing for Esau to send the military out in these streets, man. And because Trump, yeah, he's military. Everything. The damn police officers, he's giving them that immunity to fuck your ass up if you don't comply to what they're saying. This guy is moving like a king. He's disregarding what the judges are saying. Supreme Court judges. He's just making his own shit up. He's good. He's just doing what he wants to do. And what do you think they're gonna arrest him? They're gonna arrest Donald Trump? They're gonna throw him in jail for breaking the law? No, he's not on the level of a regular citizen. Cause see, they arresting judges right now. They're not gonna go and arrest Trump like how they arresting these judges. They just gonna do what they do. You know what I'm saying? And Trump getting away with a lot of shit, man. So, and he's just 6 months in. This man got another 3.5 years to get down, and he's moving fast as hell. That nigga be having a stack of books on his desk in those presidential little meetings and shit, man. He ready to sign. He signed, that guy signing, man, I don't know, probably 30, 40 fucking executive orders a day, bringing in all manner of laws, man. They fucking arresting judges. They arresting mayors. I think they just arrested a damn mayor. Talking about ICE and all this other shit. Anyway, though. But they have the total control. Esau's going to come down with great wrath. That's going off into chapter 12 because he know that he had but a short time. But I'm just looking at these AirPods, and I just came from that meeting and the shit that they was talking about. I'm like, yeah, y'all surveilling everything. It's cameras everywhere anyway. And especially you badge in, you badge out. They know when you coming in. They know when you leaving. They know the location that you're in. They can track your ass throughout the building. But I kind of hang out outside because I don't have the kind of work that a lot of people have. They sit in the cubicles. My job don't consist of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting at a damn computer all day long. I have access to get the fuck out of there, which I do. And come out and try and do, a quick lesson or whatever. But this is Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, where the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. See? So he know that he has but a short time. So Esau, a Trump, he's moving fast as hell, man. He's moving fast as shit. So the tech is out here. We know that the tech is here. I just read the tech. And this right here was damn, what year was this? I'm trying to think when this was. Yeah, that was 2020. Yep, I see this story because I was on Fox. It was on the news. I remember this shit. And there was people on it. It was some people that had actually gotten it though. It was people that got that shit, but it wasn't mandatory. They voluntarily went and got that goddamn shit. One lady was on. I remember the one. It was a so-called black lady. She was on the news. Yeah, I always be forgetting my badge at home. I'm like, what, bitch? You leave that motherfucker in your car every day before you get out. Just make sure that it's in your car. Why the fuck you? That's no reason to let somebody inject your ass and be able to track you everywhere you go. Come on, bro. That's retardedness. You voluntarily doing it, but it's gonna be a lot of people, man. They're gonna do it because they're gonna feel as if, well, how am I gonna feed my child? How am I gonna feed my children or take care of my bills? How am I gonna survive? So people, that's how a lot of people went out and rolled their sleeve up and took that COV-19 jump. I know all the people here. There's one chick, a Edomite I work with, and they made me do it. Like that shit. Thinking like they ain't make you do that shit, bitch. You wouldn't have done it yourself. They didn't force you into a van and say, bitch, come here, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna take this. Nah. You actually went out and you took that shit on your own because she got 5 kids and she's a single mom. And they're gonna sting a lot of people with that, man. So I just wanted to just touch on this article, man. I just found it to be interesting because I literally just came from a meeting and I was scrolling through the news. And I never even really go into the New York Post on here because you can go into, like I don't download a whole bunch of hookups, but Euro News and little Chinese economy, little. But I just so happened to go into the New York Post and I seen that article. I'm like, well, shit, let me just do something on it real quick. So I'm gonna end out there, man. Get back to the plantation spot where they can kind of spot me. At least I show my face here and there. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying for me. Inshallah on the bubble ball.